What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy Halucha Lucha, aka Matthew J. Brownlee, and I'm back with another pay-per-view review top 5. This time I'm doing AEW. For the first time, I didn't have to work today and I don't have to work tomorrow, so I just said, you know what? Treat myself. Let me watch this AEW pay-per-view. There was a couple of things I was pretty much excited for, so I kind of decided to buy a pay-per-view, and yeah, so it was a thing. It happened. There was 9 matches on the show, but of course, not everything can make the top 5 because it's called the top 5. So I'm going to go through the matches that didn't quite make the show. And then I'm going to get into my top 5. And we're going to just... Whew, yeah. Alright, guys. Yeah. It happened. It was a show. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff in the book. And we're just going to get into the show. That it wasn't a bad show. I think the show was okay. I think there was solid matches on the show. I don't think there was anything that was too crazy, that was too ridiculously crazy out there. But there were some good shows. There were some good matches on the show. So we're gonna get to the four matches that didn't really make the top of the top 5, and I'll explain why. And then we're gonna get into the actual top 5. So the first match that I think personally was the weakest match of the show, and I don't even think it was just, and I think it was just because of the shortness of the match, was I just hit my whole foot on the mic. Kip Sabian and Miro versus I don't know if I call them best friends because it's technically Trent and Chuck. So Chuck and Orange Cassidy. What I liked about this match was pretty much that Chuck Taylor and him and Orange Cassidy, they're talking, or they're about to have an interview, but Miro and Kip just attack him straight away, just like that. Miro's going for Chuck the whole time. He's beating him up. He's taking him down. I think Kip powerbombed Orange Cassidy on one of those big box things that has, I think, like sound stuff on one of those big things. Miro just tosses Chuck Taylor through, like, his head through the window, like he's bleeding all over the place, and then he drags him to the ring, and pretty much is like, man, see, Chuck, man, I gave you all this time. I gave you all this. This shine, you could have been by my side. You could have been the best butler. Like, I gave you the chance. You could have had this rocket ship strapped to you. But it's okay, because if you just say that you trust me, or I could take you back. Just say the words. I take you back. And Chuck was like, okay, all right. It was like, ring the damn bell, and he fire slaps Miro. And this match is pretty much like if you ever seen a Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. How Raquel is Miro with the big muscly person, and I beat up everybody. And Kip Sabian is Dakota Kai, where every time they're in the ring, they're the one that gets beat up. That's pretty much how this match was. Miro, he was just molly-whopping Chuck Taylor. Orange Cassidy wasn't to be found because he was still in the back, because his back was hurting. Yeah, Miro just tore up Chuck Taylor this whole time. He was beating him up. Tags in Kip. Kip got a little bit of offense. Chuck Taylor was reversing. He was getting some moves in on him, and then he turned the tides a little bit. Got a pin. I think he kicked out. And then soon, right on cue, when it was asking for him for Orange Cassidy, he comes out, and then Miro just like kind of smiles and smirks and stuff like that. And he gets on the ramp, and like he kind of like falls a little bit, like kind of falls like selling and stuff, and then he like kips up, and then like orange punches Miro. Miro's out for like a good 3 minutes, and he gets in. He tags in Chuck Taylor. Chuck Taylor tags in him, and then he's laying in on Kip. He goes for a beach breaker, but Kip like reverses it, and then he reversed it into something else for like a slam, and he goes on top. He hits like the jumping DDT thing for a close two. That was cool. And then he tags back in Chuck Taylor, and they hit like a adjusted beach, like it was a beach breaker foot stomp thing. It was like a combo for that. Miro makes the save, and then Miro just starts tearing up everybody. Penelope Ford's on the apron. She's trying to do some distractions. Miro and Orange Cassidy had a little thing. They was going back and forth. Hit another orange punch to wobble him. He did his little. He put his hands in his pockets. He does the kicks thing, and then he got a little serious. And then he beat him up. That's when he did the orange punch. And then he tried to do it again. Took him out. Kicked him in the face. He's out of here. They did a spot where Orange Cassidy tried to pretty much beat up. No, they was going back and forth, and like since Penelope Ford was still on the apron, he almost ran Cassidy almost ran into him, but he stops. But then Miro pushed Orange Cassidy into Penelope Ford. She falls. Kip is like, oh my god, and then Miro kicks Orange Cassidy out the ring, and then he takes out Chuck Taylor. But then the ref was like, you're not the legal man, so he goes out there, and Kip is trying to like tend to her, but like Miro just like throws Kip in there, tag me in, tags him in, another kick, game over, Miro crush, game over, the submission. Chuck Taylor taps out, and then there was like a little thing was like, dude, like my girl, he was like, man, I don't give a flip, we win. So there's gonna be a thing soon where Miro's like, man, forget you, champion, I'm about to be champion. So that was it was good stuff, but not good enough to make the top 5. Another one that was good stuff, but not good enough to make the top 5. And this is just my own personal opinion. MJF and Chris Jericho versus the Young Bucks. This opened up the show. I think it was a good show. It was a good match. For me, I like. I'm going to be a hypocrite when I say this, but this is the thing that I always say. I'm not a big fan of people like interfering in matches. And that's what pretty much happened a lot in this match. A lot of middle fingers. Like, this match was like, it was a Young Bucks match. Like, when they're good at, like, when they have their match with like in New Japan, they had their match with Omega and Ibushi. They had the match with FTR. They had their match with Omega and Hangman Page. Very storytelling, story-driven matches. Like, those are the type of matches I like with the Young Bucks. Most of the time we don't get that. They do a lot of high spots, flips, kicks, super kicks, all the good stuff. And I mean, it's entertaining, but it's not really the type of stuff I'm into personally. But there was nothing like wrong with the match. It was just that type of match. There was a little bit of story and stuff like that. Where the Bucks came out, they were straight punches. They were piss and vinegar because of what they did to their MJF and Jericho did to their father. So a lot of seriousness for like the first couple of minutes of the match, and then Matt Jackson goes for his thing where he goes over the ropes and does like the backflip and does the other thing, but MJF catches his leg. He sees it scouted, and then Jericho does his jump rope, like his middle rope kick thing, and that's when they got That's where they got the upper hand. There was a lot of middle fingers in the match. A lot of middle fingers. I guess we'll talk about that later. Why there's probably a lot of middle fingers, but they did a lot of middle fingers. They did a lot of the. We did some of this. Um, yeah, it was fine. Towards the end though, towards the end is where it got pretty interesting. After Matt got back in the ring, made the hot tag. He was going wild. I think Nick finally hit his thing where he goes off the top rope and did his somersault thing. There was, let's see what I wrote down here. There was a weird thing where so after they did their hot tag, they did a spiked pile driver because they tried to do like the Meltzer driver, didn't work. They did spiked pile driver, and then they did the thing where they shot out the Motor City Machine Guns where they did like the top rope kind of doomsday thing, and they was going for the best Meltzer ever, but he had him in MJF caught him in his legs, and then Jericho reversed it into like a tombstone on Matt Jackson, and then Nick tried to do his flip thing on Jericho, but Jericho was like all the way like wasn't even nowhere near him, so he kind of did it and he just like fell there, and then Jericho hit like the walls. He hit him with the walls of Jericho, and then Matt tried to get in, and then he hit him with the walls of Jericho. So that was a weird spot. I did like that they tried for it again, and then they reversed it again. Jericho hit like a mid-air code breaker, which was dope. They did a thing where they had the bat. He hit him over the bat with the bat. It broke, and then MJF hit a heat seeker for another near two, which again proves my point. That should have been over, but kick out City. That was cool stuff. They did a double cross body from the outside when Jericho was on the outside and MJF was on. Jericho was on the inside. MJF was on the outside. Double cross body stuff. That was cool. They did a thing. They did a thing where Jericho went to go for the Judas effect on Matt, I think, or Nick. Actually, I think it was Nick, because Wardlow was out there. He was interfering. Of course, he interferes in his matches and stuff like that. Nick moves out the way. Boom, Judas effect on Wardlow. Hit him with a roll up for a 2. And then they hit a double super kick from a moonsault. Oh, yeah. So they did the I can't read my own notes. I'm so sorry. Double super kick from Alliance. Oh, I remember what happened. Jericho went to go for the lion salt, and they hit a super kick on him. That's what happened. And then they covered him for a 2 because MJF got in here. And then they hit like 20 super kicks on MJF, like just go back and forth, super kick, party! And then the last one took him out. And then they hit the BTE trigger on Jericho for the 1, 2, 3, and still tag team champions, Young Bucks. So like I said, it was a good match. It was just very. It wasn't my type of tag team wrestling, but it was still good. And then after that, they did like a promo, and Jericho pretty much just said that we're gonna have like some type of intergestion. They're gonna have some type of match or some type of town hall meeting, and we're gonna fix stuff for the inner circle because it's not working well because we all lost. And MJF was like, "Yeah, you're right. We're gonna have to make some changes." So Jericho doesn't know that he's the change that the inner circle is gonna have to make, but he'll find out on Wednesday that he's this change that inner circle is gonna have to make. Next up for my I don't remember. Oh, 1, 2. There was one more match. Oh, I so another match that didn't make the list for me was Shida versus Ryu Mizunami. And I know I might get a lot of flack for this. I don't care. It's my list. I thought the match was good, especially towards the end. It was very physical. I think again for me, this is not my type of style of match. Um, I think that I think it's because the way they wrestled. Uh, I don't like it, or it's just not for me. Uh, Rihu is the type of wrestler who's very fun. She's kind of like Asuka in a way. Like when Asuka does her dance and her thing, uh, that's how Rihu is. And I mean that's not a bad thing, but it's just like she did a lot. Like she did it a lot during like halfway through the match, even though like Sheeta was trying to be like serious, and then she was just doing the dance, she was doing the thing, she was just like so that for me was already that's what they did like half during the match, but towards the end it was like really good. But I just think the first half for me wasn't uh, that fun. But I did the one thing I did like about this. I did like the story that they told for the matches for this particular match. I like the fact that they talked about how each person was trained by. I think they're both 32 as well. I think Ryu Mizunami was trained by Meiko Satomura, who's in NXT UK, and her whole way of wrestling is like serious, nonsense, no nonsense, Japan style strikes, kicks, stuff like that. While Shida, on the other hand, was trained by Emi Sakura, who is about the fun, go with the flow type Asuka type wrestling, and they made it as how it was kind of flipped, that even though those two wrestlers were trained by like other people, their philosophies of how they wrestle is kind of vice versa, and it's how do you do it and stuff like that. I like that the fact that they mentioned that Sheeta, and I think the match itself was fine, but I think the reason why anybody liked it as much as they did is because Excalibur was fantastic on commentary the whole time during this match. He laid up all the background, all the story between the two, and I think that itself is what made it watchable. But the dancing, the when you're doing the chops and he's doing the whole thing and he's doing the thing and they was reversing it, he's doing that wasn't really my cup of tea. But I did like Rio is really good. She chopped the mess out of Sheeta a couple times. Like her chops are good. I think if this match was more serious between the both of them, I think this match would have been way better than I think it would have been. But it was still fine. It was still good. I like that. I did like that Rio was like kind of disrespectful. She was trying to nonchalantly making Sheeta mad, and then halfway through it, Sheeta got serious. She was like, "Okay, you want to play games now?" And she did like a beach break type thing on the outside, and she brought her in with like a suplex, took her out, knocked her down. It was kind of went back and forth and stuff like that. A lot of false finishes, a lot of like the knees. Sheeta's finisher went for that. She went for a couple of times, wasn't working. She tried it one time, and then like she real like kind of smoothly transitioned out for like a pin. I think she tried to hit it one time, and then I think it didn't hit, it didn't land like I think it was supposed to. So she kicked out, and so she did it again, and then she hit like her Michinoku finisher, and finally got the win. And then after the match, Vicky and Nyla Rose comes out, takes them both out, And then Britt Baker comes out with a hurt Rebel, and they kind of stare at each other. And then she tells Rebel to beat up Hikaru Shida. And then my baby girl, I love her so much. Thunder Rosa comes out. All the heels go like, "Oh no, it's Thunder Rosa. Just one of her and three of us. Let's run away." And they ran away because my girl. And then they announced that it was going to be a 6-man tag. I think Hikaru Shida, Thunder Rosa, and Ryo Mizunami versus Riho, my girl, I think Rebel's in it, and Maki Ito, which, yes. So let's talk about that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So let's talk about that match. This match was on a pre-show. I don't know if this counted as. It was a good match. I liked it, but it was on a pre-show. It was, I watched half of it, like the latter half, and because I was trying to get my thing to work. I tried to use it on my phone, but it wasn't doing it, so I had to use my laptop. And I went through it. I was like, "Is that Maki Ito?" And then the middle fingers is what she does. I was like, "Oh, that's why everybody's doing middle fingers, because of her." I get it. I'm there now. But the thing with this match was Riho and Ito was Maki Ito never beat Riho, so there's a better time than any to do it. She got some good love. She was healing it up. In the end, of course, crutch from Rebel, who was supposed to be injured. She hits Thunder Rosa with it, and she gets her finish off. And no, she rolls her up for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, it was a solid match, but pre-show didn't make the top 5. And during this whole show, JR had like a messed up voice, which also just like for me, for a lot of this pay-per-view is like, ugh, JR, stop talking. But that's that. We're gonna get into the top 5 now. Number 5 on my list is Matt Hardy versus Hangman Page. This match was way better than it should have been. Way better than it should have been. I just came to this. I was like, it's gonna be fine. But this match was really, really good. This is probably Matt Hardy's best wrestling match since he's been in AEW. The story, again, I'm a big story guy. The story was there. The reason why, of course, shenanigans is not my favorite thing. But this was a feel-good shenanigan story. But the match was good. Hangman Page was dominating Matt Hardy. Of course he was, because he's Hangman Page. He's younger. He's vibrant. But Matt Hardy, just the veteran instinct of Matt Hardy got him through this match. Doing some joint manipulation. I was like, okay, Matt Hardy, I see you doing some joint manipulation. He's one step ahead of Hangman Adam Page. Not really doing any chin locks or any of that. Keeping up the O's and the leg drops and the twist of fates and stuff like that. He did a twist of fate on the outside. Tried to get the count out because, we need that money. So he did the twist of fate on the outside. He came in at 9. Started beating him up some more. He would go for the buckshot lariat. Matt Hardy's like, I'm not about that life. I think he tried it one time and got caught with a side effect, which was cool. Orange Cassidy, Isaiah Cassidy, and Mark Quinn came out. Orange Cassidy was on the top for like a long time, and then Mark Quinn was just like chilling over there. So I was like, what are they doing? Then Hangman knocked him out, and then he turned around after like 5 minutes, found out that Mark Quinn was there, took him out, and that's when he tried to hit the buckshot lariat, moved, boom, side effect, twist of fate for a close 2. I was like, oh my God, that was really close too. And then they tried to interfere again. Dark Order come out, all the Dark Order come out, even the odds. They did a thing where Hangman was on the outside. Matt Hardy tried to like push him off, but everybody from the Dark Order like caught him, lifted him back up. He hits a buckshot lariat. Boom! 1, 2, 3. Your winner, and gets a quarterly earnings from Matt Hardy, which is something that I wish I can get, but I can't. Uh, Hangman Page, and then they celebrated. They had the Dark Order beer out, celebrated with him. Good stuff. I loved it. It was a good match. Way better than it should have been, but it was very entertaining. Good feel hold. Good home loving thing for him. Number 4 on my list. I didn't write this down. I wrote my notes. You know, I got my handy dandy notebook. But I was looking for my pen, which I just found. My laptop was on top of it, so I had to go through this and see what else that I liked from the top. I say number 4. My 4th match is going to be the Casino Battle Royal. This almost was not on my list because it was really, really long. But what made it pretty much edge it out was probably the ending, like the last 10 minutes of it. Once they weeded out a lot of it, it got more interesting. One of the bigger, I guess, stories from here is QT turning heel. As soon as the match started, was him and Dustin that started the match with 5 and 10, I think, was out there, and Dustin went to shake 5's hand or 10's hand, and then QT just like popped 5 or 10, whichever one it was. Just popped them. They beat him up. More people came. I think it was like every 2 minutes people came out. And there was the spot where the Gunn family was taking out Cesar Bononi, I think it was. And as he was trying to take him out, QT Marshall took out both Gunn Club and I think Cesar as well. And then Dustin Rhodes was like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" Because they're part of the Nightmare family, Nightmare Collective family. QT was like, "Man, flip you guys." He eliminates himself, says "Tui" at Dustin. I almost called him Goldust again. At Dustin, and he just left. So, not looking good for the Nightmare family, who's supposed to be all loving and stuff like that. So not good for them. I'm assuming that started with Lee Johnson. I couldn't think of his name until I watched something. I think there was a thing where Lee Johnson had that tag match with Cody against Cesar and Peter Avalon. And they did the thing where Lee Johnson was like, "Man, this is my best moment. I like to thank Cody." And Brandy was out there, thank her too, even though she's pregnant. I got to thank her. Thank Arn Anderson. I thank Goldust. And that's it. Nobody else. I got to thank Gun Club. Gun Club is great. Everybody else that's in it. Not QT. I don't mention him. And then QT is just like, okay, cool. I respect it. Yeah. No. It's cool. So I think it started from there, which was a couple of weeks ago. So that was a cool story. This new tech, I haven't really watched AEW in a while, and I think they're on AEW Dark. I forget their names. They're like Wild Beasts or something like that, or Country Bears. I think maybe it's Country Bears, Country Beasts, Country Bears, something like that. They're impressive. I like them. They're like Heavy Machinery. They're in NXT, or like Wild Boar, like in NXT UK. They're like them, but like big and great. Oh, they're fantastic. I love them. More of them on like regular AEW. More of them. They're fantastic. Stu Grayson, Evil Uno, fantastic. They're great. Santana Ortiz, the best. Because they're the best. They don't gotta win. They can't win because they're the best. The ending of this was phenomenal. It was SCU, Pac and Ray Phoenix, Dark Order's Alex Silver and Reynolds. John Silver, Alex Reynolds. Yeah. And just Jungle Boy by himself, because Luchasaurus was eliminated by, I think, Cesar Bononi or the Wild Country Bears or something like that. Yep, this was all good. Good stuff. They tried to gang up on. No, I lied. It was John Silver by himself. No, Reynolds was in there. I'm on my business. But yeah, they got it. SCU, I think, got out. Jungle Boy eliminated Alex Reynolds. That's what happened. He eliminated Alex Reynolds. So the final four, because SCU as a whole got out. So then the final-ish four was John Silver. It was Alex. It was Jungle Boy, and then it was the two from Death Triangle. It was Pac and Ray Phoenix. This was all greatness. They had a Pac and John Silver thing. They had that thing that was fantastic. Need more of that. Johnny Hungry was going crazy. He was running wild on everybody. But Jungle Boy took him out. Then it was just those two versus the two Death Triangles. Jungle Boy eliminated Pac, which caught me off guard. Didn't see that coming. Then it was Ray Phoenix and Jungle Boy. And just give me a match one-on-one with them. Oh yeah. Give me one of them. I like that. Give me Pac versus Jungle Boy. Give me Ray Phoenix versus Jungle Boy. Give me Pac versus Johnny Hungry. Give me Johnny Hungry versus Jungle Boy. Give me all of that. Just give me all of that. I need it all. Yeah, it was fantastic stuff. Ray Phoenix just somehow just every time he does suicide dives or tope suihitos or whatever they call it, I just think he just tries to see how much far into the crowd that he can go. Because this time he torpedoed through Jungle Boy and just like landed over, like he didn't even land on the barricade, like he landed over the barricade, landed on his feet. Crazy. Took somebody out. Don't know who it was, but he took somebody out there. And they went back and forth. And in the end, Ray Phoenix got the win on Jungle Boy. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. So we're going to get another fantastic match out of the Young Bucks when they face Pac and Phoenix. It's probably going to be the same type of match as the MJF, and well, it's going to be better than that match, but it's going to be, flips and kicks, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just expect that type of match to happen. But it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be great, and I'm going to be a child, and I'm going to contradict everything I said because Phoenix and Pac are great, and when they face themselves against the Young Bucks, it's just going to be a whole bunch of PWG, and I'm going to be a hypocrite. It's going to say it's going to probably be the best match on the show. I don't care. Mind your business. Next up, number 3 on the show for me was the ladder match, the casino ladder match, brass ring ladder match, which literally was a brass ring that looks like a Sonic the Hedgehog ring, which was hilarious. This match ended up being in the top 3 for one reason, and that reason was Cody Rhodes did not win. This was like the biggest haha. You thought that Cody Rhodes was going to win because everybody's trying to grab the brass ring, and I am the brass ring because I am EVP, and you think that I'm going to lose to all these heathens? Ha! No, I'm me. I'm Cody. They even did this. They even did the thing where Pentagon, Cero Miedo, Phoenix guy. El Cero M. I think that's what they call him. They did a spot on the ladder where Cody tried to take him out, but Pentagon, Cero M hit the package pile driver on hit a like a pile driver, package pile driver, or like a on the steel steps, and his head hit it, and Cody like just milked it. He milked it for the rest of like pretty much the whole thing. Before I get into this, before I forget, the mystery man from this was Ethan Page, which is cool. I think Ethan Page is great. He was in Impact Wrestling, so I guess obviously there's a thing between the two. But they did say Ethan Page is all elite, so it'd be like that sometimes. But he's great. The guy who does the rap, his rap was good. I forget his name, but he's pretty great. He did a Lola Bunny reference because they did the thing where they flattened Lola Bunny's chest, and people are acting like that's the craziest thing in the world, which is hilarious. He made a New York government reference, and he made another reference. I forgot what it was, but the Lola Bunny one is one I got, and I thought that was kind of hilarious. But yeah, Ethan Page was in it. He was great. Lance Archer, big freak of nature. He's fantastic. Seto M, great. Scorpio Sky, new attitude. They said he had an attitude adjustment, which is great. I thought John Cena was gonna come out, but he didn't. But yeah, they milked this thing with Cody. He did the package power driver on the still, and then he was like that. And they did the thing where they took him to the back, but they took him to the back, and the match was still going on. But Cody, like, they would pan out, and Cody's literally still there, like working, like they're working his arm, and they're like, "Can you go?" He's like, "I can go, maybe I can go," and they kept going, and I don't know if they did that on purpose. It seemed like they probably did that on purpose. They had to do that on purpose, like the production. They had to be on purpose. But it was like, I don't know if I can go, and they're just sitting there. They're trying to milk his arm. They're trying to work his arm. I was like, Cody is literally about to win. Like, he's about to do this whole thing where he fakes. Well, he doesn't fake, but his big comeback. He comes out and he's gonna win. Like, you're serious. And I was like, oh no, they didn't. No, they're not. And then, like, I guess he goes back to the back a little bit, but you still pan out. You still see Art Anderson, like, back there and stuff like that. And then Cody comes back eventually with his belt, starts whipping everybody with his belt. Hit a crossroads on Ethan Page. Welcome to AEW, young fella. He starts to climb the cage. Lance Archer said, "You better get out of here." Boom, slams him down. There was a cool bit where during the Cody injured, everybody look at him thing. It was a cool bit where Lance Archer was like in between the thing, was in between like the ladder, and they was smashing the ladder on him. And then Scorpio Sky, I think they tried to do a thing with him and Ethan Page, but I think they kind of messed it up a little bit. But Ethan Page like recovered and like hit like a power bomb onto the ladder from him that's still sandwiched Lance Archer, which was a cool spot. Everybody got to shine it. Everybody got to shine in this. This was cool. The winner, shocking winner that I didn't even expect. So Cody goes up. Penta goes up, tries to take him down. Then he climbs. I think Cody has like a chair, and he starts beating Penta with the chair. He goes down, and he goes up, and then Scorpio Sky gets a chair. He beats him down with the chair, tosses him out. And then he goes up to one side, and then Cody goes up the other side, and they're fighting back and forth. And Scorpio Sky takes out like Cody's arm, and then he looks at him. I'm assuming he said like, "This is my moment. You're not taking it from me," or something like that. And he takes him, smushes his face, throws him down, and then he grabs that brass ring. He wins. Scorpio Sky is the winner, which came out of nowhere. Fantastic. I love it. I love Scorpio Sky. Wonder if he's gonna win. Maybe not. It'll be interesting to see if he actually wins or not. I don't think he will, but if this is one step for him getting that TNT Championship, I'm all for all of that. Number 2, we got to talk about this. It's Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley in the Death Barbed Wire match thing. I thought this was going to be a number 1. I thought this was a no-brainer. I thought it was like easies. Yeah, this match was fine. It was good. From start to finish. They did the thing. Mox came out in his jacket that represented. I'm not very cultured in like the death match type of things, but it's the one guy who is synonymous for the death matches who was in that video package. I think it was representing him, like in honor of him. He walked around the ring a little bit just to see how everything looked. Kenny Omega comes out, and pretty much it was pretty much for the most of the match. Well, for like a good 5 minutes of the match, each other trying not to go into the exploding part of the barbed wires and stuff like that, which was cool. Mox is the first one to go through it. And he went through it twice. He went through one side and got hit with the other side. Got back and neck part all over the barbed wire on the corner. Bleeding instantly from all over the place. And then I think, not Mox, Omega, he got his first taste of it where he was going for something, but he like kind of reversed it, and he tried to reverse it, and he like tossed him into it, and then like he drop kicked him into the, and it did it again. Did a spot where he was trying to go for like a T-bone suplex on a corner, but they was kept reversing it, and then Mox finally hit it. Paradigm shift on the apron to the barbed wire on the bottom, and you could tell it was real because Mox was out here like he was trying to like unpluck himself from it. There was some spots where Mox was getting the barbed wire himself, wrapping it all around his arms and his fists, punching Omega with it, doing some clotheslines with it, but Omega was like, we're not about that. He was moving, German suplexing him, and then Mox was like, boom, clothesline, got him with it. There's a spot that they did the same thing on the other side. Yeah, this was great. This was really, really good. This was a good match. Towards the end of the match, there was a spot where Omega went for the one-wing angel, and there was like, oh, nobody kicks out of the one-wing angel. It's a thing, and it was a cool thing where he hit the one-wing angel, and it was like 1, 2. Mox did not kick out, but like he got his foot up, and one of the barbed wires sacrificed his foot for it to explode in Kenny's face for the kick out. So it wasn't really a kick out, but it was like he broke the hold from him putting his foot in the sacrifice his foot on the barbed wire for it to explode to go into Kenny's face, because they did a spot before where Kenny Omega threw like he tackled him into it. His back went in it, but Kenny Omega's face got in it, got the smoke and stuff all in there. He had to get the water to rinse it out and stuff like that, which got Mox the upper hand the first time. So he did it again to use his foot to get his face in it again. Smart. Love that stuff. And then he went for a paradigm shift or a Death Rider, whatever he decided he wanted to call it. My guys, Good Brothers, they come out. They interfere, of course, as always. They grab a big metal barbed wire bat, which, of course, is exploding when Kenny Omega hit John Moxley with it. But before he does that, Mox gets his own bat. He starts beating Luke Gallows, Big LG. I don't know if he's still Luke Gallows, but Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows with the bat. He's just tearing Carl Anderson up with that bat. And he's beating up Luke Gallows. And then Omega turns around. Omega pops him in the face with it. 1, 2, kick out. And then they help him up. They set the chair up, and then Omega hits like a running one-winged angel on the chair. 1, 2, 3, game over. Your winner, and still the champion of champions, Kenny Omega. And then that was it. The match was over. Woo! Yeah. Match wasn't over. So then after that, they started attacking him some more. They got handcuffs. They handcuffed them in the back. And they were still saying that the timer was still going off, and they're trying to tell him that, and they were still beating him up. And then like a minute hit, and they still did like this big Papa Pump siren thing. It was like, I was like, oh my god, what is this going on? And they're leaving. They leave Mox in the middle of the ring, and then Eddie Kingston comes out with Butcher and Blade. He comes out. He starts like beating up Kenny Omega a little bit and starts like attacking the ref. And then there's like 20 seconds left. And everybody else leaves. Butcher and Blade's like, what are you doing? He's like, I gotta save Mox. Best friends, like my brother still. And then they all leave. And then he's trying to, and then Jon Moxley's like knocked out. And he's trying to he's trying to find ways to uncuff him. He can't do it. It's 10-9, 8-7-6. Like he's going down. He's like, oh my god, like things are starting to sparkle up. And then went to 1, and then what's his face? My boy Eddie Kingston went to cover Jon Moxley, and oofy, yep. And instead of firework explosions, going crazy like Goldberg's entrance and Cody's entrance and all these other things, instead of all that happened, it's kind of like Gilbert. It was kind of like, yeah, it was very underwhelming. I think it was pretty much a botch. I don't think it was supposed to happen. Oh, but what made it really bad was that Eddie Kingston like sold it like it was death. And I think that's what I think that's the part. That is the part that made it like that's what made it bad. Is like, okay, fireworks, they didn't go off. Okay. Cool. No big deal. If they would have sold it like it was supposed to be a thing, but it wasn't a thing, then I think that would have been better. But they sold it like it was the end of the world. The commentary was like, oh my god, that bastard, he's crazy. What are you doing? This is a whole horrible thing. And it was like, but nothing happened. So, like in my mind, when I was watching, I was like, it was a joke. It didn't really happen. Oh, he's about to get up, and it's like, oh, really? I just got played. Like, really? That's how you guys feel? And they were gonna come back and was like, you suckers, you fell for it. But no, they were like, this was meant to happen. So it was supposed to be a bigger explosion, but it didn't happen. So like the biggest thing is like, how are they gonna have him sell what happened? And the biggest, and I thought about this, and I was like, I don't know if they can. The only way I think they can save it and sell it would just be like Kenny, because Jon Moxley already made a promo. He already said that it was like he tried, he failed. So the only thing I can see is Eddie Kingston comes out. It was like, I wasn't knocked out from it. It was just the fear of almost seeing like my best friend die caught me in shock. Caught me in shock to the point where I was like, I passed out, or I was just like crying so much I didn't have the energy to get up because I thought my best friend was gonna die. And when I didn't, I was relieved, but I was still like in shock or something like that. That could be like something to be like, okay, that could be a saving grace from it. But that ending, woof, that was, yeah, oofy. But besides that, because I know I ragged on it a lot. People who's gonna probably watch this knows that I probably I made fun of it a lot. I think the end execution wasn't good, but the story between it, the beat up, the beat down, the fact that Eddie Kingston came out to save them because they're still best friends, they're still brothers. I think all that is fantastic. It's just the unfortunate ending that it just happened. It just be like that sometimes. But yeah, that was number 2. Should have been number 1, but the ending was just, it is what it is. But so that means the number 1 match on the card wasn't even a match. It was the cinematic match. It was Darby Allin and Sting versus Team Taz. Cage and Ricky Starks. I loved everything about this. I don't think it was better than Firefly Funhouse. I think it was in that realm of the Boneyard match. I think it was obviously structured like that. Maybe a little better than a Boneyard match, just for cinematic purposes. Like they're probably close, but I think I'll give the edge to this one. I don't think anything is topping Firefly Funhouse unless they do the same thing with Randy Orton with his demons. Unless they do that, I don't think anything's topping really that. But this was really really good. I think this was the best thing on the show. I like the entrance that Darby and Sting had when it was coming in. They had all the Sting faces. They started the match. I liked how Cage like threw Darby on the wall, but like he like somehow caught on the wall and it came back and he like caught him and like suplexed him. Darby was getting ragdolled all over the place. Like he was tearing. Cage was murdering Darby Allin throughout this whole thing. Cage took out all the little Sting cronies. Was beating up Darby, like dragged him, threw him all over the place. While that was happening, Sting was beating up Ricky Starks, taking him out. He had the bat. He did like the thing where he was walking through. Had the bat thing going on, and then he went to go to Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks is like, "Hey, if you's the man, if you's a real man, you wouldn't need that bat." And then he threw the bat. I'm assuming that he meant to throw the bat at the window, but he kind of missed the window and it kind of fell down. And you'll see what I mean in a second. But he did that. He took out Ricky Starks anyway. He goes. Meanwhile, Brian Cage is out here suplexing Darby Allin, walking up a flight of stairs while he has him, kicking garbage cans and throwing it on him. That was fantastic. Sting comes back, they double team Brian Cage for a little bit, and then of course Powerhouse Will Hobbs comes in there, takes out Sting and Darby Allin. They swing Darby Allin. This was a cool bit. They swing Darby Allin through, like they throw him on the glass. The glass falls, and then like the window part like still pops him in the back of the head, so like he double gets knocked out. That was fantastic stuff. Gangster son comes out. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gangster." He starts beating up Darby Allin and Sting a little bit. He tries. He does his best. Yeah, this was just like real fun back and forth. Sting takes out Will Hobbs and the little mini one. Darby Allin comes from the top after he's getting knocked out. He tosses the bat that fell from that spot where he was supposed to throw it and kind of missed, kind of fell, but it's okay. He throws that bat that was supposed to be up there, tosses it at Sting, starts beating everybody with the bat, takes Brian Cage out, and then Darby Allin, because he's crazy, jumps from the top of the window, elbow to Brian Cage. I think they're both dead. I don't think they're alive. It's over for them. And then they go in there and very much wrestling for the rest of the match, for like 5 minutes of the match. Ricky Starks talked trash, beating them up, and tried to win with the schoolboy, which is the most wrestling thing they did all night, which was kind of hilarious. But you win with the old-fashioned Scorpion death drop for the 1-2-3. Sting and Darby Allin win. Sting's face is the end of the shot. Taz is not happy about it. He's like, yeah, forget y'all. We're going to go back to square one. I hope this is over. Maybe if there's a trios titles, I don't know. Tag titles they can go for, I don't know. But it was fun. It was a fun match. It was a great match. It was probably obviously it was my number one. It's my favorite match on the show. Overall, the pay-per-view, it was 4 hours long, or 3.5 hours. It's a pretty long pay-per-view. I would give it, oh man, I give it an 8, maybe an 8, 7.5, 8 out of 10. It was it was a good show. Ending horrible. A lot of the matches were a little bit too long for my liking. There was a couple of stuff that I just don't personally enjoy in the show, on the show, which is probably why I enjoy NXT more. But the show was still good. Good, solid wrestling. Oh, and I didn't even mention. Oh, I didn't even mention this. Their secret, the secret person, Hall of Fame worthy guy that they went to sign, Christian Cage. He comes out. He doesn't even talk. He just comes out. He does his thing. He signs the paper. He goes in the ring, and then he walks out. Christian Cage, love him. So there you go. I kind of forgot about that. But then it shows how. I mean, yeah. I love Christian Cage. I think he's great. I think he's gonna do good things for AEW. So yeah, I think an 8 out of 10, a solid B, B minus. Uh, yeah, that sounds about right. Tag matches were solid. A lot of stuff was a little bit too long for my liking. A little bit too many false finishes for my liking. The ending to the match was, but all in all, can't complain. Decent show. Uh, yeah, I know this was long, but again, this was AEW. It was like 4 hours long, so it was 7:30 till like what 10:45, 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3.5 hours, almost 4 hours. So no, it ended at like 11:45. So 7:30, 8, 9, 10, 11:30. Yeah, it was 4.5 hours long. So sue me. What did you guys think of the show? Let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.